Let me tell you one story about something I learned. Let me tell you one story about something I learned. Yo.
Gonna hit you hard with the fast and the fury. Make your mouth drop like Jordan and Julie. Stepping on the court, dog, on dangerous. Getting the score like Bobby De Niro. Don't approach us like no Gondoliero. Leave you looking like Eddie Norton. Straw in your word like Marvin Martian. Wanna know why? The God sent we. Cause your belly full and your mind empty. All sound alike on BET. How many naked girls do you see? Like Miss Awalad, me can't believe me eyes. Won't stop rocking till the boat capsize. In the holy water, washing off your disguise. Always go back to your dirty pig style. Damn, big, you left them hypnotized.
Soldiers dance in the middle of the night, smoking trees and chilling with wife. Fridge got food and the kitchen tight. I got a big dog and him off at night. Soldiers dance in the middle of the night, smoking trees and chilling with wife. Fridge got food and the kitchen tight. I got a big dog and him off at night.
Welcome back to another edition of the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ, 2 Wheels and Coffee.
What's going on, man?
Lots. Lots unexpected, but, you know, it's all about riding.
Yeah, man. Sounds like it. I guess we got to do like a recap or something because it's been several weeks and
Yeah, we can't even catch up.
Well, listen, I don't even think we're getting MotoGP or World Superbike. Yeah, man. So, you know, just overall, how are things with you before we get into racing and what you've been up to or what I've been up to just in general, you know, how things and, you know.
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. Weather's nice now, you know, out and about, just trying to find things to do to stay active. So just trying to stay busy.
Got you. So the last time we did a show, I think we just you got one race under your belt. I had a couple under my belt, and we've been racing again and training as well. So, you know, unfortunately, we can't be in, you know, two places at once. So, you know, this show took a little hit because we can't get together. So I'll let you talk first and talk about what's been going on. We'll probably start from the second round of Loudon and how that went and how's the, you know, the road to the, you know, the Classic 100 or 100 Classic Loudon or whatever they want to call it, whatever they call it. I'm pretty sure I'm jacking that up.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on at Loudon, because I haven't been there yet for the season. You know, how's that going?
As far as I can see, Loudon is doing really well. I mean, there's a lot of people trying to promote the classic, and you know, there's people showing up. This round 2 that I just attended.
Right. That's what we're talking about.
So yeah, so there's a lot of good riders there. You know, T. Cobbs, his teammate as well.
They showed up.
Yeah, they all showed out. 64. Shane Narbonne.
Shane showed out. Josh Hayes.
He showed up on a Sunday, I think.
Okay.
For testing.
Okay.
I wasn't there.
Was it Tyler Scott?
Tyler Scott, yes. Sorry, I couldn't think of his name right away. But Tyler Scott was there. He actually did really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he put in a minute and 12.
Okay.
His first time out on the track. I'm assuming that's his first time out there.
Yeah, I saw some clips and
yeah, he got a shot over going down the bowl sideways.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, you look like you're pointing at turn 2.
Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be crazy, but round 2 was really, really good, and the weather was nice. I only stayed, unfortunately, on Saturday.
Okay. And you watched the Dash for Cash on Saturday. So
yeah.
What was that like? And before even you know, the Dash for Cash, what you know, we know some of the riders that are racing in that. So like, what's the atmosphere like? You know, is there a lot of chat about, you know, the classic, or is it just business as usual for the local riders? What's that like?
Well, this dash was a really big grid. It was about 35 bikes, which is for this size track. I think is a good amount for one wave.
More than
but-
I think we talked about this the last episode. I mean, I think after a certain amount of, let's say 30. I don't know if we got into a number from the last round, but I think over 28 bikes, especially at Loudon.
Yeah, it was interesting to see. I mean, everybody made it through.
Yeah, which is a beautiful thing.
All the laps were completed.
Okay.
But it was really good to see, like, especially, me starting in 2020 and trying to get to know everybody, just watching all the fast guys that are there.
Right.
Just counting off all the names that are going by. I'm just getting to like almost 20 riders that I know, and I'm just like, wow, this field's pretty stacked.
Right.
And knowing that the Classic is coming up, I just can't wait to see it. But it was a very interesting race. A lot has happened since round 2 for me. But if I can remember, I think Eli was winning the whole race pretty much, and Shane Narbonne was following him, and ended up passing him. And then Tyler Sweeney, who won the first round dash, ended up passing Eli, and Eli came in third. And it's kind of the usuals who are basically 1 through 8, 1 through 9. You get your Ian Beam and Rick Doucette, I think, and then so it's good to see and to explain, like Eli was saying. I know he's been on the show before, but those 2 riders that were in front of him who passed him was guys that he looked up to. So it's good for him to get that experience too. But it was an overall fun race to watch. These guys are flying.
All right. And how did you do that round as well?
I pulled off a 3rd place in the heavyweight super sport for the amateurs, and came in 6th place for my middleweight Grand Prix. Okay. Which is the race 14.
Right. And what's what is it like in the paddock and stuff like that? The folks, are there riders that haven't been at Loudon for a little bit that may not be national riders that are there as well, or is it?
I mean, the paddock has always been friendly, especially the first day that I started. If you're not a familiar face, they're gonna make you a familiar face. So everyone's gonna try to get to know you, see what you're about, where you're from, what you ride in, what they can do to help. And then especially the Classics coming up, things are getting more organized. So as I mentioned before, they got a rider directional now.
Mm-hmm. I'm not quite sure what that means, but
so basically when you get on and off track, you can't just go which way you want. It's I
got you. So they've changed changed the layout a little bit.
Yeah.
From how it normally is.
They said they was going to try it out until the Classic is over and then evaluate it. But I actually kind of like it. It just feels more organized, because I know before getting on the track, you always had to look which way to see if a bike's going to fly in from a blind spot just to get on the track.
Right.
If you know what I mean by the media center. But yeah, it's a good little change, and we're just trying to get everyone set up and promote, I guess.
Gotcha. I assume you're doing that as well when you say everyone's promoting.
So I guess we all, as a rider, get 6 tickets that we can get for the pit pass.
Oh, no. So if you sign up for a race?
Yeah, well, so you have to pre-register,
Yeah,
so you get up to 6, so it's $25, otherwise it's $40.
Okay.
For what I've been watching and listening to other guys talk about it. But I know on Saturday, we can't go on to the track because it's only for the team. So, like, you can't get a pit. You can't go on the pit.
You can't. Oh, right. So you can't be like on pit out.
Yeah, on Saturday.
All day Saturday, or just for the dash?
Just for the dash, for the most part, as far as I know. And then turn 1 has like a VIP section. You need special tickets to get to turn 1. There's gonna be more bleachers there.
Are you word?
Yeah, but other than that, I guess as regular riders, we have access to walk around like we normally do. We just can't go turn 1 and the main straight, like on watching the straightaway. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So it's only for the team. So probably gonna have their pit boards out there and stuff.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But because turn 1 you could just walk up to. So now that's VIP, huh?
Yeah. You should probably watch it from the bleacher side, but maybe in the infield side they have it. I guess you got to get a wristband for that. So.
Right. Well, that makes sense. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. If you go to a club, there's a VIP section. Is what it is. If you go to MotoGP, I haven't been to a World Superbike or Moto America race, so I can't even tell. I don't know what that's like, but there's a VIP section. So yeah, I mean, Turn 1 is a good place to watch a race, so it makes sense.
I don't say it's a VIP section. I think you just got to get a pit. I don't know what they call it, but it you have to buy another ticket for it.
Right. It's
your regular ticket is not going to get you a Turn 1 seat. So.
Got you. Right, exactly. So yes, that's interesting. Okay, all right. That's that's good to know. So. And it seems like there's going to be a lot of vendors, and it seems like it's going to be a big to do, and it's crazy because
it's also Classic Weekend too. So they have the entrance; they'll have all the
stuff that they have previously. Yeah. And it's probably going to be amplified a little bit more because of the purse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be bigger people because they know more people are going to be coming out, and which the cool thing I'll say is this, And I'm not calling anyone out when I say this, but this is one of the first years where we have the regular folks that normally will post and talk about well, when it was LRRS, they do that, and then shout out to Leroy, shout out to Hines. What's that? Tom Hines. These are guys that they just have fun, busting each other's balls, and they make a good time of the classic and make side bets and stuff like that.
I haven't checked it out yet, but I heard they got a list out.
But this year is there's folks that wouldn't normally participate in social media as far as promoting the classic, as you were saying. There's a lot of riders that wouldn't know that. To me, in the past, I mean, I don't talk to a lot of people, but from what I can tell from social media, in the past, they weren't promoting the classic the year before or the year before. But this year, there are a lot of riders that are now that are I guess buying in. I don't know what it is, but it's cool to see because obviously, the more people that are talking about it, the better it is. So there's a good thing. So I definitely see more riders promoting the classic than I've seen in prior classic years.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of if you paying attention to all motorcycles racing, there's a lot of riders that are professionals that are trying to attend. So it's good to promote this to get more people to watch some good racing. So
right.
I'm interested to see all these riders, not to be like starstruck or anything, but watching them on TV all the time.
You can't be starstruck.
I'm not starstruck, but like, just be like, oh, there he goes. And finally seeing like Mark Marquez or something like that,
Yeah, I mean, it is nice to see, and you really can appreciate it. And I mean, I don't know what it's going to be like, so who knows, right? But it's definitely when you get out and you see skillful people, regardless of whatever sport or thing they're doing the best and the highest level. And you got Motor America riders, you got club riders in a lot of clubs, but you got some top riders that are in all these clubs. So to have this obviously it's the cash that's making everybody come, right? But to have this draw and have all these riders that wouldn't normally come to Loudon. And try to see if they can compete and knock the fast local guys off. And the crazy part is, it's not crazy, but the local guys are very fast.
Oh yeah.
So it's not you got these pro guys that are really fast and they're probably fast everywhere. But now they're gonna be competing with guys that
every crip and crevice.
Exactly. And on Monday morning they go do a different job, right?
But no, I think it's cool. It's just like say if you play basketball and you're shooting around and you got a chance to play with some professional basketball players on a pickup game, it's just good to be around. Not that you want to be starstruck, but it's in your alley. So like to be racing, not knowing that I was gonna be racing and always watching these guys on TV, and for them to come up here, this it's gonna be like a good moment to see. That's all.
Yeah, all right. That's what's up. We're about
Didn't have to really try hard to to go watch them. Sometimes you got to go fly out to go see them at a race, but they're kind of
listen.
attending us. So
You gotta leave the country sometimes.
Yeah, so feel kind of privileged, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it's nice. That's what's up. So we got a couple of weeks before the Loudon folks, Loudon Classic. So if you haven't already got your ticket, if you haven't gotten your VIP spot, if you haven't gotten your camping spot, or if you haven't figured out who's rolling with you, figure that out because it's just around the corner. And I've been fortunate enough now to have been going to the Classic since 2015. And I'm looking forward to this one. This is probably going to be the biggest one. It's a century celebration, but also the purse just brings out. Seems to be bringing out some of the best riders in the U.S. and maybe Canada and other parts. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know. I assume you're racing. So you're not just gonna be a spectator?
So Saturday, I think it's just that event, but I'll be
I'm
participating
wait,
on Friday and Sunday.
When you say Saturday is just that event, there's other events going on, but you're just not racing.
Yeah, so
there's other races going on.
Yeah,
but you're not entering in that race. Based on the schedule, you're racing Friday and Sunday.
So I think for the Neymar riders, I think it's just Friday and Sunday.
Okay, and
Saturday is just for the Classic, and they have a couple other races before I think the Classic.
Really?
Yeah. So
I gotta look at the schedule then.
It's not like I'm not sure. I don't think it's any Neymar riders. I think it's just specifically for the Classic date.
Okay, I gotta look at.
So Thursday
is race of practice, right? Yeah. Race of practice, Penguin School. Yeah. Friday, because it's 3 days usually.
So I think this is gonna be really tight. I did watch. Video on 388. They went over everything, so shout out to him on that. But I think if you're doing the Penguin School and that only, you can come Wednesday and have to leave by Thursday, I guess.
I got you, but if you're racing,
you can't show up until Thursday.
Okay.
So I don't think you can show up Wednesday.
Right.
If you're racing Friday, I guess it's gonna be so crazy because the vendors that always show up for the Classic anyway, and it's gonna be. I
assume it's gonna be nuts because it's the first, and it's the first.
Everyone wants their spot too. So.
Right. So, so definitely, I'm hoping to race. So I got to look at the schedule. So as I hear you say that, it's just like okay, so I got to figure out what days I can race. And because I can't. I'm not one of those people that can go to a racetrack. Well, I've watched some MotoGP races, but I've since now, it's hard to just go watch and not race. I prefer to be on a track. So I got to look at the schedule and see what's available. I hope because in the past there was still races that you could do on Saturday. So I
Yeah, I remember that. But I know that the middleweight Grand Prix that I'm in, usually race 14, I think is the last race on Sunday.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Wow.
Someone said, I have to check the schedule as well, but that's what someone mentioned to me. So it's a little.
Okay.
It's going to be a long weekend.
All right. Well, listen, man, it's going to be a fun time. So
reach out to your friends that you know who's riding, see if you can get a ticket.
Right.
$25. Otherwise, I think they're $40 at the gate. I mean, tickets won't run out. You can still just get a ticket at the gate. And I heard children under 12, I think, are free.
Okay, that's what's up.
So, I know my niece and nephews like to show up, so they'll be in.
And if you are racing, check the schedule. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. So that's, we talked about the second round at Loudon. And, since then, you've been taking your bike across state line.
Oh yeah, so I mean
states lines.
Guess I had some goals that I had this year. Finally accomplished some thanks to shout out to my boy Nick. But yeah, so I didn't stay on Sunday, and everyone's like, "Where are you going? Like, why are you leaving so early? Like, the weather's good. Like, it's not raining. Like round one.
Like, mind your business."
I'm like, yeah, I'm going to a Ducati event. I gotta go.
That's what's up.
I got invited to Josh Heron's Warhorse Ducati event at Poconos. I'm not sure how many times they've done this, but I missed the one last year. I think they do it one time a year. So I was able to get to this one. It was on a Monday. So
Okay.
I left Loudon Sunday morning or afternoon and drove to my friend's house in New York, and then we packed up together and drove to Pennsylvania, Poconos.
Nice. Now, what's that like, right? I mean, we live in Mass, and we drive to Loudon, which is in New Hampshire, and it's about an hour and a half. So it's a little bit of a drive, and it's one of those, for me, it's one of those drive where you're excited. You're putting whatever crap you have that you should have already done or whatever back, and you're going to hour and a half, maybe, depending on traffic, and that's it. But now you're driving now. How many hours did it take you to get there?
Well, from Loudon to my friend's house, it was about 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay, that's not too bad. And then
from
to
his house to did we take? Yeah, we didn't take the camper or anything, so we just took a trailer. It took about 3 hours.
Okay, to the Poconos.
Yeah.
And the Poconos are in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Okay. But northeast Pennsylvania.
It's like, northeast. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think Philly was an hour south.
Okay, that's not too bad. So give or take between going, it's almost like 5.5, 6 hours if you were to drive straight.
If I were to drive from my house.
Yeah. Or Loudon, Yeah. So what's that like? This is your
That was my first track being on besides 3 years straight at Loudon, and I was looking forward to every bit of it. And I didn't know what to expect when I got there because it's a Ducati event. Every bike starting up sound like a airplane or a souped up car. The Ducatis rattling and their exhaust coming out the side pipes, and it's crazy. But it was fun. There was a couple of.
Was it overwhelming or
no? Not at all.
Did you like? Were you nervous? Were you? It's your first time at a new track. Obviously, you've been riding for over close to 10 years, so it's not like you're a new rider.
I wasn't nervous at all. I mean, I would say excited nervous because I couldn't wait to see what the layout was because I didn't get a track map. So
okay,
when we had our riders meeting, they mentioned to come see me if you want to get the track layout, and I had a friend there that been there before, so I'm like, he's my track map pretty much.
I'm Marquezing this guy.
Exactly.
You're either Pecco or who else Marquez follow around the track? There's a few of them
Alex
he follows.
Rins, I think.
Nah, he doesn't follow Alex Rins. It's either like Pecco or one of the Aprilia guys. Exactly. Leish. He's not following Jack Miller because Jack Miller is not having it.
Yeah.
So which is, it's okay, cool. So you didn't. Now, for a lot of people, you say this nonchalantly, and I'm not picking on you when I say this, right? It's like, oh, I'm just going to follow somebody around a track. But for a lot of people, going to a new track for the first time, it's like skydiving. You know what I mean? And myself included, because trust me, when I started going to new tracks in 2021, I didn't know what to expect, so I was a little bit terrified. But you were pretty comfortable, and so we can talk about it a little bit later. But at the that process of saying you were comfortable, by the end of the time, did you go, oh yeah, I'm still comfortable, or was like, oh, there's some things that happened that I didn't even think would happen?
No, I mean, I had a really sketchy moment that that was my fault throughout the sessions, but this track was pretty flat. There was a couple little up and down, like not a lot of elevations, like Loudon and stuff like that. So now that I've been to a third track, where we'll get to in a little bit, I can say that this track is not demanding at all.
And demanding, like, in what way? When you say demanding, like they're looking for money, or
like you don't get like an oh shit type moment,
right.
Like Loudon, there's a wall at turn 3, or you going down the bowl and there's just a fence, like
or turn 1,
or turn 1, like
turn two.
You can get a lot of old moments.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing at this track, you can just get a good flow. I mean, I'd say
Gotcha.
it's a good practice track. I mean, granted, like when we had our meeting, there was a good amount of people there, and the people that raised their hands for what group they think they should be in,
Mm-hmm.
they split it up instead of 3 groups and just the 2.
Okay.
So
wow.
that allowed us to get 30 minutes on the track for 7 sessions.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
So I didn't realize how good that was. Like literally, I would go on for 15 minutes straight and get off. I wouldn't even go to the paddock. I'll just sit next to the guy that tells you to go on the track.
And then wait to go
for
back
2
out?
minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and just go back out for like 2-3 laps, and I'll come off, and then Nick would be like, "Hey, like let's go on for another minute, or 2." And then we'll jump back on for 2 laps, and the session will be over. And we'll wait a half an hour and get back on.
Right. Now, and are you because it's a Ducati day, and you're not riding a Ducati, so you're practicing, and did 7 sessions?
Yeah.
7 sessions.
I missed the first one because I had to help my friend change his oil.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually made the first session in the last, I think, 8 minutes or so. But when we was pulling out, somebody crashed.
Okay. Yeah,
And they told you in the meeting, if you crash, walk away from your bike. Don't take your gloves off of your helmet. And the guy did all the above. So the session was over. He took his gloves off, took his helmet, picked up his bike, and we was like, dude, like, what are you doing?
Right. And what I was trying to get at is, like, do you get to the point where you feel like you're on the track, I can work on the things I need to work on, or are you on the track saying, okay, I need to just learn the track and figure out how I can be, quick on the track, which kind of maybe makes sense. Maybe say you don't need to necessarily work on things, you just got to learn the track.
So I really use my skill to play on this track. So like leaning off the bike when I keep turning 3 lefts, make sure I stay off the seat on the right side, and trying to find the apex cone, and I was working on those things, and I always have a problem with my feet, so I try to get my feet up,
Right.
and getting good drive. So I was actually practicing on techniques and stuff like that.
Right. And that's pretty good while learning the track as well. Like because you're working on stuff, but you also got to learn the track.
I mean, for the first go around, like,
was it like 3 laps in, you knew that you were comfortable, or
I'll say like by session 4 and 5, I was like, all right, now I can do me.
Okay, right.
Like
okay.
the first 3 that I did, or first 2, I kind of missed the first one. It was kind of like figuring out the track, following my friend, and the bumps. I'm just like, because there was a back straight that I actually got a video of it, but I was falling behind this 1000, and as I'm taking off, there's these little dips or whatever. So you're leaning on the tank, full out 4th gear. You hit the dip, the wheel comes up, comes back down.
Yeah.
There's another one. You shift to 5th gear, and it still comes up.
Yeah.
And this dude's like riding the wheelie all like 140 miles an hour, and then comes down, and I'm like, holy shit, And after that, got all that out the way.
Right.
I started focusing on like getting faster and then finding the right lines, and it became to the point where you had to worry about controlling the thing for real, because the bar starts shaking a little bit.
Right,
and you really know you're pushing. So
right, I was gonna say that. Yeah, if you're starting to notice things like that, then you're getting comfortable. Your lap times are coming down, so now everything is coming a little bit faster.
I was getting a gear higher on the back straight and everything, so I'm just like, okay.
Right. Gearing is interesting because I don't know how big that track is, but I suspect, not suspect, I know gearing will play a part in that. But what I wanted to go back to was you working on the things you need to versus being out there and just trying to just learn the track, because I think for a lot of people, it took me, like, I was at Pitt for 3 days, and like I still need to go back to learn the track.
Everyone keeps talking about
I felt comfortable at some corners, but I didn't walk away feeling like, oh, like I know this thing, you know what I mean? And so it's like, you know, and I sounds like, and I haven't been to Poconos, so I can't really talk about it like I know it. So it seems like, you know, from going from Loudon going to Poconos, it seems like it
was an easy transition.
Yeah,
it was an easy transition for sure. And just being around PJ Jacobson, Josh Herron, a couple of
it does help.
Moto America riders. I mean, they were on they were on different type of Ducatis. It wasn't on those sport ones.
Right.
They were also with the novice riders, and sometimes they came out with us. But it was good to chat with them about a couple things and get their opinion on some stuff. So I actually had Josh Herron look at my tire. I was like, "Hey, does this tire look smoked to you?" He was like, "Is it showing the rings yet?"
He's like,
you're like, "Man," he's like, "You got it."
He's like, "Yeah." So
he was like, "Oh yeah, I usually ride until." Well, he doesn't ride till the ring show, but you know, he was like, as long as you don't get squirmy in corners, he was like, you should be fine.
Right. So now, him saying that, does that, you know, because we've talked about tires in the past. And I've said, like, I run these tires until I'm no Josh Hayes, but like until I get movement that I don't normally get. So does that give you confidence? Because I remember last year or the end of last season, I remember you had a crash and you felt like the tires were done. Now, does that give you confidence to say, okay, I'm going to keep the tires on until I get movement, or are you like, I'm just changing them after a certain amount of laps?
So now I feel like it's kind of a combination of both. Because I want to keep my pace, so I'd rather feel safe than sorry. So I remember before I crashed, I remember I was just losing drive. Like the pack I was with, they always were drifting away on the straight. And I'm just like, what the? What is going on?
Yeah.
So like, you know, I want to keep, you know, fresh rubber to keep that drive. And but yeah, I feel way more comfortable now
on used tires.
And give you credit too. Like you was like, oh man, you got plenty of life. And I had to train myself. All right, manage the tire for these rounds. This is how many races I got. I can't, you know, smoke this tire. Even though like I don't really know how to like smoke a tire.
Right.
You know but you know, like I just being more cautious about what I got on my rear.
Yeah.
So
It's tricky because it's kind of, you know, it's all, you'll hear some people say it's cheaper to change tires than to fix something on your bike because your tires were done and you did a oh shit moment, right? You know, it's always that, but it's also, you know, when I listen to, you know, the MotoGP riders and the World Superbike riders, and they talk about how many laps they do on tires, and then I think about how many laps I do on tires. It's just like I'm not pushing as hard as they're pushing, and I'm not doing the same amount of laps they're doing. Exactly. So it is like I feel like I have more. I feel like I have more to give, and it's a fine line for sure. And everybody's going to be different. Everybody's riding style is going to be different and all that stuff. I'm not saying any, you know, that is what it is. But I find that there's something, you know, I always hear riders, those guys also talk about how they manage the tires. And if you never ride on a used tire, you never really learn how to manage the tire. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like...
You should see my street bike tire right now. It is... I don't even want to ride it. It's so bad because I think people are going to be driving by like, look at this dude. Like, but I just feel so comfortable. I still have a little bit of life left. I know I'm not going to be, you know, being a fool on it, but, you know, just knowing how to manage the tire, I feel like that is something that I've got a lot more experience on, especially tires when you give you movement. You feel like, all right, that's how much I can push in this corner.
Exactly.
At this time,
exactly.
You know,
right.
And
or you change your line,
exactly.
you know, you just it forces you to adjust how you're riding because you know, for a long time, if something on the bike for me wasn't comfortable, my hand is up, I'm coming in. You know what I mean? And I'm learning how to ride around the problem. And whether it's a tire or whether it's something else going on with the bike, it's kind of like when you learn how to ride around the problem, at least you're not pitting in. You know, and obviously if you're changing tires, you're not just spending money, right? You know what I mean? So, it is, and again, it is a fine line. I'm not sitting here saying go, run your limits of your skill set to go figure out your tires. But, I think some people change their tires sooner than they probably need to. Which again, tires are one price. Yeah, exactly. Tires are one price, and cost to repair the bike is a different price. I'm not telling you to change your approach if that's what you're comfortable with at the end of the day. But there's like I said, when you look at these pro riders, they do more laps than I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not running the same tires, obviously, as MotoGP or a Superbike. But when we're talking about, club racing and stuff like that, and Motor America and the Pirellis and the Michelins they have and stuff like that, we're kind of running, similar tires. There's something to be said about learning how to, run on tires that's done, 30 laps, 40 laps, and you get some movement, and stuff like that, and you learn how to deal with it. Well,
the Daytona 200 is a perfect example. They do like 50 plus laps. I think this one they did 60.
Right.
They do pit stops and they do change tires. But I remember the year past, I think 2021 or 2022. I forget. I think it was Brandon Posh. I'm not 100% sure, but he did the whole race without changing tires. The only time he stopped was to get a drink of water and gas.
Gas. Okay.
He didn't need it, and I was just kind of shocked. Like, wow, he did that many laps and when I talked to Josh, I congratulated him on winning the Daytona 200. And I'm just like, dude, how do you do that many laps and not get fatigued? And he was like, that track, it's not that demanding. It looks like it.
Yes.
And I just gave him, I had a question mark in my head. I'm like, but yeah, I watched you pit and you didn't even get a drink of water. He was like, I didn't need it.
No, I was
like, what? When I get on the track and as soon as I put my helmet on, I'm like, all right, I need water now.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing about when, Loudon is such a demanding track, right? Mm-hmm. That you do need that, you know what I'm saying? And Daytona, it doesn't have a lot of hard braking. I've been to Daytona probably 3 times, give or take. It's not as demanding as Loudon for sure. It's not as demanding as Pitt. Pitt gave me a workout. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that gave me a workout. I definitely was feeling it. So that's absolutely right. And when I think the more you ride, you find places where you can rest. You know what I'm saying? So because there's times when you can rest on the bike for a little bit instead of being all the time. And so I think once you also get comfortable in finding the places where you can rest, you get less fatigue. But no, turn one maybe at Daytona. There's not a lot of heavy braking, which is a beautiful thing. And so you're not going to be as tired, and you're going to have a lot of fun because you're going to be flat out for. I don't know for sure, but I feel like half the track you're flat out.
So if I give a comparison, that's kind of how Poconos may sound like or be like. I haven't been to Daytona, but it's really not demanding. Now to think about it, there's probably 2 corners or one that you have to brake really hard, which is a right corner. But other than that, everything was just regular braking and everything was just smooth through corners. It wasn't no hard braking at all. Yeah. Right. Like I mentioned at Loudon at turn 3, like there's a time where I felt like my rear came up like I'm top rack, going into the corner.
Turn 3, turn 3 will do that.
And that's really heartbreaking. So.
Right, exactly. So no, it's not the same thing. So that I can see that, and it differs at the different tracks you go for the endurance races. I mean, it's not the Daytona 200 at other places, but if you're doing the endurance races at Azra or some of these other clubs that have endurance races, Motor America is now doing indoor races actually too, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Xavi, I'm messing up his last name. He won like 3. He won that. I think he won that, and then he won 2 other races.
Barber, right? Yeah.
Yes. I want to say Chavi Viete, not Viete. Forte. I think it's Forte. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they've been, I think it's like 36 laps or something like that. So it's not a Daytona 200. It's not a Azra team challenge or anything like that, which is, the endurance race, man. Listen, this is a whole different animal.
Oh yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? Because
it's gotta be right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's 100. It's not, as one rider told me, 99% mental. That's it. He said, after a certain amount of laps, he couldn't even feel his hands. He wasn't even hitting the brakes anymore.
Yeah, I talk to myself so much when I'm on the track. Like, I actually got a friend who asked me if I listen to music while I'm riding. I'm just like, what? No.
Well, yeah.
I do on the street, but like on the track, I talk to myself.
Right. We explain to people you cannot put headphones in or Bluetooth devices in on the track to race. It's just,
or on a track day. I think he said he listened to music.
Yeah, probably on a track day you can.
I couldn't do that either.
But no, I shouldn't say I couldn't listen to music, but I think for us at this point, I don't think we need it.
Yeah, I talk to myself recording too much bar input. All right,
go. Break. No, break. No.
Oh, I fucked that up, damn it. That was a bad corner.
On the straightaway. Get him on the straightaway. Just get close enough, And that's all that's going on. That's what I'm saying. You don't need music.
And then I'll be like, how many laps are we at? Halfway mark, I'm like, oh, thank God.
It's funny, right? I don't even think about how many laps we go anymore. I just, start straight. I just look at the flag. When I see the halfway flag, okay. When I see the white flag, okay. I don't even, because it's, there's so much to think about and so much not to think about, right? Because you really you want to think as little as possible, but you want to be as focused as possible. And to be wondering how many laps you have is a waste of time. That's what they're for. It's like when you're halfway there, when you got 1 lap left,
That's what they're for.
That's what they're for, because you don't have to think, and don't, like, I used to try to think about how many laps I got left, especially like the enduro races at CCS, like the GTUs and the GTOs and stuff like that. I used to try to think, but no, it's just, lean on the folks that make you have to think less. Because the more you think less, and the more you can be focused, the faster you're gonna go. So,
more fun you'll have.
Exactly. Listen, man, when you're going fast, you're having fun.
Oh yeah.
You're like, there's no doubt about it. So you went to Poconos, and then you came back, and then what happened?
Then I went home, and I got a call. I was like, hey, you want to come to New York Safety Track? I'm like,
and you're like,
yeah, I got that day off. Let's go. So yeah, I went to New York Safety Track for the first time, which is my 3rd track now.
Oh God, I remember them days. Like my 3rd girl.
So this track, yeah, it's a lot more. I had to really watch for myself. Like, yeah, I could. You a lot could go on wrong here. It's a fast track.
Gotcha. Okay.
They'll jump over Wheelie Hill, and they just a lot of off camber turns, and which I'm kind of used to those because of the bowl.
Yeah.
But there's 5 or 6 turns that camber like that, and that's what I'm saying. I had to talk to myself all right, too much bar input, push the bike up because I didn't want to lose the front of rear.
Right.
But overall, it was a good time. I actually kind of like it, and it kind of reminds me of Coda a little bit.
Okay.
Which
from watching, not racing, right? Riding on.
Well, watching videos doesn't do the track justice.
Well, no, but you haven't ridden on Coda, right?
Yeah,
so,
I haven't ridden on Coda.
Right.
Fact. Yeah, so I haven't ridden on Coda. I played on the video game
and
watched MotoGP there. So I know the incline of the
hill
for turn 1.
I know all the MotoGP tracks just about. Never ridden on any of them.
I didn't know New York Safety Track had a incline to turn 1 that turned sharp down. I was it's pretty cool. So just find all the uphills and downhills and the Wheelie Hill jumps and quick lefts and rights, and it's a nice track. I like it.
Nice.
And then they say they run it the other way too. I'm like, oh, jeez.
Right. So now, your third track, you have a couple of years when you were only at Loudon, and I was always say, oh, you have to go to other tracks. You have to go to other tracks. Now that you've gone to a couple of the tracks, only once, so, you have to go to them a few times. I'm not expecting all that. But, what is your thought on it? What would you tell people that's only gone to one track and only go to one track?
New York Safety track was probably the hardest because I went with as far as like traveling there and with my friend, he had a camper. It was very tight. Like if we didn't get there at a certain time, like the camper wouldn't have been in the spot we had, and
time matters.
We had to ask people for cords because the generator cord switch was too far. We had a long enough cable. And
Right.
So we had to like borrow a generator. One of our friends that we came with, but
Oh, listen.
I don't have a
been
generator.
there, done that.
I don't have a generator yet. I'm looking forward to getting one, but it was needed at the track.
Right.
So
Yeah.
This track you needed a generator.
Which is different than Loudon, right?
Yeah, different than Loudon for sure.
Right. Yeah.
The atmosphere was sort of the same. I mean, there was no paddock though, so it was like you had to be in your trailer.
Yeah.
So I know at Loudon you can have fun outside in the field. You go say what's up to the people in the paddock.
Yep.
And
I've said this.
Good time.
Yeah, I've said this before. Like, we're spoiled at Loudon because we have amenities. And I saw somebody post something the other day on Facebook, which is a whole different thing. Small PSA. I have gripe with people who have problem with places and people, and instead of reaching out to the people themselves that posted publicly and complain. But I had some people complain. I saw someone complain at Loudon, and I'm not into the public. Hey, whatever. I'm not. I don't deal with all of that. But my thought was like, you need to go to some other tracks, because if you went to some other tracks, Loudon's one of the best facilities in the East Coast, like up and down the East Coast. Daytona, Homestead, Loudon, Jersey, Pitt. I haven't been to VIR, so I can't speak. But I've been to West Virginia. I've been to South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and let me tell you, we're loud for folks that are at Loudon. Very fortunate because it's a very beautiful facility, and if not, just go to a couple other places and you'll see.
Yeah, not to mention that. So the track day was on Tuesday, and we were planning on showing up Monday night. So the gates closed at 10.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't show up by 10, you ain't getting in.
Right. Oh, listen.
So like I didn't Loudon, you could show up 2 a.m. and pull through the gate, right? There's always someone at the gate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, I showed up at where was I at?
I was like, Nick, were they locking us in? We can't go to the store after this? Like it's like, nah, the gate's closed. We ain't leaving.
I showed up at Jersey, and they wouldn't let us in before 6:30 in the morning or something like that. And was it Jersey? No, it might have been Pitt. What? I say this like, check the website, reach out to the people, figure out when you can get in, because honestly, I drove fingering I can get in and set up. And if I knew I couldn't, I would have just stopped at a rest stop and slept a lot longer. So every track is a little different when you can get in the times and stuff. So definitely check the times. If not, you're gonna be at the gate asleep in your vehicle.
Yeah. Then I ran out of gas my last session. I had just
$20.
Well, I mean, we used it all, for the generator and all this other stuff.
Listen.
And the gas station, they were like, yeah, it's 20 minutes away. That's a 40-minute trip. I was like, yeah. It's
oh, okay.
So if we decide to go get more gas to,
it's off premise.
Yeah. So
yeah. No, go ahead.
Yeah, it was just, it's just that I feel privileged to be at Loudon for
Yep.
what they have. And when I went to Poconos, we actually had space in the paddock, so it wasn't a problem. They had the power strips there where we could plug in just like Loudon. So that was actually pretty good. The atmosphere was there. It was just pretty much the same. Everyone was friendly on the Ducati event. The person that pulled up next to us, his name's Oscar. He has a Ducati. He's a rider coach. So the way I had my bike on Nick's truck on the bed, and he had his on his trailer. But he has the big truck, so I was like, how the hell are we going to get my bike off without having this tumble off? So Oscar had like a ramp, and he helped us, and then he was like, can you help me get my Ducati off? So had helped him get his Ducati off.
Right.
There's a friendly atmosphere, just like usual. This was a day event, so, we just had to show up the time. The gates open actually at 7, and tech closes at 8. So we had to be there. I'm like, how we set up at 7 and go to tech within an hour? So we had to be ready for that time period.
Yeah. No,
but overall, it was good.
Yeah. You do have to be flexible. And it's good to know the track rules ahead of time, but sometimes it still doesn't work out. And, you just have to be flexible because you're not going to win at any with the organization. You know what I mean? Like there's no winning. So it's like, it is what it is. Just be flexible. And if you've been racing long enough, you have to be flexible, right? But you definitely have to be flexible when you go into some tracks, especially for the first time, because you're learning the ropes. Like I'm going to West Virginia, and it's like I'm driving all night because I want to get there early enough. Because if you don't get early enough, you don't get a good spot. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm going to suck it up and drive so I can get there early enough to get a spot, and then I can go to sleep. Other tracks where I know I can get a spot, no big deal, right? So it is one of those things like, if you're going to a new track, figure out the setup times, figure out when you can get there. Like we've said, I think we said this on a few episodes ago, where people are not parking, chances are if it rains, it's not a good look there. So, my time has been crazy, but we don't have enough time to talk about that on this episode. But I do want you to sum up, what it's like, going to Loudon, racing a couple of seasons at Loudon, wanting to visit, new tracks, and then having the opportunity to visit new tracks. And, you may still be digesting it all because you just got back just the other day from your third track. Mm-hmm. So, but like, what are your overall thoughts on just exploring more tracks?
It's just like going on vacation to, visit a tourist attraction. It's just like, it's just seeing what this track has to offer, what my bike can do here.
Right.
And how excited I can be. And it was just fun, more or less traveling, just going through the experience, unloading the bike, talking to people about bikes, and, just getting more knowledge on everything and for the things that we love and I love to do. But the experience was amazing. As long as you have everything prepared, obviously there's always going to be something that you got to pull over for or something that's going to go wrong. Nothing's ever perfect, but just getting my feet wet on another track is something I always wanted, and I'm looking forward to going to more and going back to the same ones again. Just continue repetition and adding more to the resume.
And what would you tell our listeners? Go to new tracks.
Go to new tracks. I mean, it is possible. I mean, we're all broke.
Yeah, we're all broke.
Especially me. And it took me about 3 years, but I found a way to get to another track. And
took me 7 years.
There's a lot of people.
More money than I do.
As we're sitting in his trailer. There's a lot of people that can come helping hand. As long as you return the favor in some way. So
you pass it forward, as they say.
So like I said, I went to New York, and I didn't drive all the way. My friend Nick had space, and we went together and put our funds together, and got there and back. He filled up the truck. I had the gas for the bikes, and it is what get the food. You just make it work.
You just make it work. You make it work.
You don't have a delay. If someone don't have a wallet and they need something, I got it. You know, just keep everything going forward.
Right, exactly.
Just have fun the whole way through.
Nice.
But it's a good time. I can't wait to go to more tracks.
There you go. Well, my name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
We will see you at the Classic.
I will be at the Classic. So yeah, remember, reach out to your friends. Try to get some tickets. Just go on the pages, NEMRR. They'll have ways to purchase the tickets.
Yep.
There's a lot of QR codes out there where you can just scan, just buy the tickets.
You got a ticket. Go experience it. It's gonna be once in a. I hope it happens again, but this will be once in a lifetime because the $250,000 purse is the biggest purse in the U.S. And there are some riders who are just very hungry.
If you are a rider too, like a street rider, I advise you to bring gloves and a helmet. You never know what you might get into.
Right.
They also it's a Loudon Classic weekend. So this is just the 100th, very big one. But every classic they have vendors with food, demo bikes, everything. So you can either take a spin on a bike if you sign up in time. You can watch the race too.
Right.
It's the whole thing. You go to Weirs Beach and you never know.
Laconia's Bike Week as well.
If you want to ride up, bring your own bike, you can ride around the whole area. There's a whole bunch going on.
Right.
It's basically dedicated to bikes that whole weekend. That's all you're going to see.
Yep. And it's the oldest road race series in the country.
Yep. Oldest motorcycle rally.
So definitely come out, have a good time. For the folks that are scared at Loudon to race, just get a 300. It won't stop that bad.
So at New York Safety Track, I'm like, why don't they classify the bikes? Like, you know, I'm used to 400s riding with 400s, or like, you know how we do at Loudon.
Yep.
Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, stuff like that. They're like, oh no, this is a fast flowing track. The 400s, they'll keep up with you in the 600. The only time you'll pass them was on the straight.
Oh yeah, I can
I'm
see
just
that.
Like,
I can see that.
400 went around me.
Yeah. I can see
It
that.
was gone. I was like, what?
I can see that, but I will say this, and I've said this before. I think if you're in the right group with the right riders, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I think if you're in the group and don't have the right riders around you, it can be a hot mess.
Yeah, that's true too.
And it is they've been doing, like, you know, track day places have been doing this forever. I'm no expert. I'm not going to tell them how to do their things, but I do feel like 400s and lightweight RS660 SVs, FZ07s, I think those two bikes should be on the track together, and then 600 and thousands to be on the track together. That's just my personal opinion of that, because, you know, there's a big discrepancy in horsepower. And again, if you get the right skill sets together, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
I was trying to, it was new track to me, so I'm trying to like catch
Right.
him.
Yeah, exactly. When you're
But-
new,
but-
no,
yeah.
seriously, that's where it counts. Like, if you've been to this track a bunch of times and you're comfortable at this track, that's one thing. If you're new and you're on 1,000 or on a 600 and somebody's on a 400, or if you're new on a 400 and somebody's on a 600 and 1,000, well, you're not going to be up to speed because you're learning the track. You know what I mean? So that's why I say, like, you make sure you find the group that you're in, that if you need to learn the track, you're in that group and you're not worried about going fast. And then if you know the track, then you want to be in a group that's going fast. But if they see you with, you know, whatever, if you're in the wrong group for whatever reason, or if you're just trying to learn the track and people are whizzing by you or whatever the case may be, it's always an element of danger. But there's a little bit more element of danger because I'm not going to be going at my limits if I'm trying to learn the track, regardless of whatever bike I'm on. You know what I mean? Until I get comfortable enough. And so, you know, I think they should be. And again, you can always bump down a group if they put you in one of the more skillful groups. You can always go and say, hey, no, I want to be in another group. But that's still also tricky, because if you're an experienced rider, but you just don't know the track, and you're with somebody who don't know the track and they're not experienced, it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it brings up a lot of things. So, like, the bike didn't get in the way at all. I actually am so used to Eric Wood leaning on me like this and turn 11.
Yeah.
So, like, when he was going around me, I like it, and I wanted to follow him. But being on tracks, I'm not usually practicing with 400.
Right.
You know, it was just a question that I brought up, and when he explained it, like, yeah, this track's fast track, they can keep up. I'm like, okay, it's good to know.
Yeah.
And it brings up also when I forgot her name. We talked a while back when she crashed or made someone crash, and he said something that this lady shouldn't be on the track.
This was in World Superbike.
You know, it could be the same
Anna Carrasco and Batista.
You know?
No, seriously, it can. And you know, I think for the most part, I you know, if riders are paying attention and doing the right thing, it's a beautiful thing, right? Because you're holding your line, you're getting past, they're going to pass you and not affect your line. It's a beautiful thing. It only comes into play when you got two people who are not comfortable.
Not sure who's going to do what.
Exactly. That's when it becomes a problem. You just need one person to be not comfortable. But if you have two that's not comfortable, you know what I'm saying? It's a recipe for a little bit more excitement than one would want.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So no doubt. So we will be back. I hope we will be back before the Classic. But scheduling, we don't know for sure, but we'll definitely be back after the Classic, if not on the Classic.
Get an update on your travels that you're about to take place.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm in West Virginia tomorrow. Leave for West Virginia. You know, a quick rundown. I was in Pitt a few weeks ago, then Jersey for California Superbike. You know, it's been fun. The last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, I've been on the bike a lot, which is a beautiful thing. You know, and I'm looking forward to be on the bike this weekend. You know, well, being on a bike is always good, right?
Have you been to this track?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So
listen,
so you know some lines then.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Listen, man.
There we go.
I'm not gonna say nothing, but you know, some of the things I needed to sort out, I've sorted out, and you know, this will be the test. So, you know, the next episode, you're either gonna hear me say, or you're gonna hear me say, "Oh man, it was rough."
You have to test again.
You got to test again. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
Peace.
Peace out.